What's that smell? Smells like some record-breaking sales. Let's get into it. Scanning planet's surface for record-breaking sales, on the line virtually, broadcasting from somewhere on spaceship Earth, with Gem, the leader of the Gempire. Gemmint from Gemmint Collectibles. How you feeling?
How does one even follow up with that? Welcome to the honorable mentions, the runners-up, the books that didn't have enough sales to make the Hot 10, but they had record breakers, one-offs that bring them here on this list. And we're going to start with number 10, a double key, both Avatar related. We have the Free Comic Book Day 2017, Avatar/Briggsland number 1.
Hit the like, slap the subscribe button. We're here every 7 days for the comic fam. And this 2017 release is indeed a double key, marking the first appearance of James Cameron's Avatar in a standard comic book.
So it's got Avatar going for it, and it's also the preview of Briggsland, which, if you'll remember, the comic was optioned by AMC back in November of 2016. They haven't been doing anything with it, but look how long it's taken for the Avatar sequel to come out. Plus, we have a CGC 9.8 to discuss. It sold for $203 back in May. It's up 72%, now selling for $350.
An increase of near 150 bones for a sequel that's slated for December 16th of this year. Next at the list at number 9, Tales to Astonish, issue number 64, debuting in 1965. Gem, we were just talking about the leader's first appearance on the hot list, and now we're talking about the first cover and second appearance in full.
Also, the second appearance of Atuma, who has been confirmed for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So a double key here, and we're going to continue to see Hulk properties show up on these lists, the leader being his most recognizable villain. With Hulk leaving in that spaceship in She-Hulk, we know that his adventure is just beginning somewhere else. We have a CGC 9.0 to discuss, selling for $240 back in 2016, up 90%, now selling for $455.
An increase of 90% since its last record-breaking sale. Clearly, the Hulkamania has just begun. Now at the list at number 8, Flash 250, debuting in 1977. Sometimes the record-breaking sales indicate where Spec focus is being had. However, sometimes it means that there are better opportunities to score books because the market is now making them viable to spec on now than ever before because the prices are lower because of media news.
And sometimes you just have a CGC 9.8 come to market for a Silver Age Flash key. Flash 250, first appearance of the sister to Captain Cold, Golden Glider. This sold for just $140 back in 2017, which sounds criminal now. It's up 157%, finally put some respect on its name, selling for $360.
The CW Flash has been canceled. Ezra Miller's time on the screen isn't even guaranteed at this point, let alone the sequels that for sure will not happen with him as the lead. Put some money down on the Scarlet Speedster, not while Spec is on fire, rather when we're seeing lulls. And I believe that that's where Barry Allen's Spec is headed, at least for the time being. And if you like the record-breaking sales that we're reporting on, there's not just 10 that you need to see that took place this week.
Yeah, that's right. This list is comprised of a list much larger, sometimes 20 to even 50 books. So make sure to check out Key Collector app for the full list.
Support the show by utilizing code TOM101 on the best comic app in existence to learn about funny books, get access to this larger runners-up list that we're describing, and catalog your comics, get suggested pricing, stay up on your funny books, and so much more. Next at the list, at number 7, Journey into Mystery, issue number 62, debuting in 1960.
This is what we would call a prototype first appearance. Before we had the heroes that we have today, Marvel had characters in books like Journey into Mystery that they would later rebrand and reuse as other characters. This one being the first appearance of the Living Hulk, which would later become Hulk, but also in comics, this prototype would become Zenmu, who was popularized in the Al Ewing Immortal Hulk run.
Zemnu the Titan, a dangerous foe, an android without a mouth, causing a ruckus in the pages of Al Ewing's Hulk, popularized it and has retroactively made this prototype book his own key character appearance. We have a 4.5 selling for $275 in 2020, really during the peak of popularity, now up 113% selling for $585. That's an increase of over $300 and some respectable gains on a very cool character.
Speaking of cool characters, number 6 on the list, we have the final issue of Masters of the Universe from the 2004 series, issue number 8, cover art featuring Orko.
The comedic relief, the supreme sorcerer of the He-Man mythos, whose people forged the power sword that turns Prince Adam into He-Man. And this last issue was under-ordered, and the census count of high-grade issues justifies the largest percentage increase on this list.
The percent increase is crazy, but there's a little bit of an asterisk there. There are only 8 copies of this on the CGC census. There's 194, 196, and there are 6 9.8s. Now, back in 2007, a CGC 9.8 actually sold for just $10. So now when it sold for $425, it puts it up 4,150%.
This is a tough book to find, especially in high grade. If you own one, get it graded. This is one of those copies that you gotta know by cover, because you can find it on the hunt and get some major gains, because there are members hunting for it who are fans of the hit 80s tunes. At the list at number 5, Strange Tales 127. Dare I say we have another double key?
Unless you want to call it a triple key, because not only is it the second appearance of Dormammu and the second appearance of Clea, but it's the first battle of Doctor Strange versus Dormammu, which is probably what's putting it on this list.
Hold up, Jen. We may need to call this a quadruple key, because it's the origin of the Eye of Agamotto and the Cloak of Levitation.
Or you might as well call it a quintuple, because it's the first team appearance of the Mindless Ones.
Multiple reasons to spec on this book, but I think it's happening now because of Clea specifically. We know that Charlize Theron is portraying the Sorceress Supreme. Heck, she's even leading her own title right now, post the death of Doctor Strange. We have a 9.2 that sold for $400 back in 2020, up 142%, an increase of over $550, selling for $966 this past week.
Number 4 on the list, we have a thick book, an oversized square-bound Marvel Tales issue 1 from 1964.
We have a bunch of reprints taking place in this comic book. 11-page reprint of Amazing Fantasy 15, first appearance of Peter Parker. 6-page reprint of Incredible Hulk #1, first appearance of Bruce Banner, the Hulk. A 13-page reprint of Tales to Astonish 35, the first appearance of Ant-Man in costume. And not to mention the 2-page reprint of Tales to Astonish 49, the first appearance of Pym as Giant Man.
It's also got a 6-page reprint of Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, first appearance of Nick Fury. It reprints Tales of Suspense 39, first appearance of Iron Man, and Journey into Mystery 83, the first appearance of Thor.
As blue chip Marvel keys have spiked, now the reprints are targets for the spec community. And not to mention, this right here is a very tough book in high grade because of the thickness. An 8.5 hitting $555 back in 2017 was outdone by an increase of 121%. Shout out, Gwen Stacy. We have a new sale of $1,226, a all-new record-breaking sale. Hot damn.
We're going to step back from the Silver Age on number 3 here and go to the Golden Age. Haunt of Fear, issue 17 from 1950. We're talking Golden Age horror.
Origin of the Crypt of Terror, origin of the Vault of Horror, origin of Haunt of Fear, referenced by the seduction of the innocent that led to the creation of the Comics Code. And these particular EC titles were introduced in ongoing series, making it really tough to figure out issue numbers as it pertains to which titles they are stemming from. This issue is tough. It's a 1.8 that we're talking about today, last selling in 2019 for $194, up 364%, selling for an all-new high. The first recorded sale of a 1.8 since then, selling for $900.
The Golden Age market has been growing. I'm seeing more and more dealers at conventions highlighting their Golden Age books. These are the scarcest of the scarce, which brings us to number 2 on the list. 3 years earlier, 1947, we have 7 Seas issue 5.
Cover art and interior by Matt Baker. We have The South Sea Girl, 5.5, going for $691 back in 2016, with an astonishing increase of 386% this week, selling for $3,360. This is a short 6-issue series, and Matt Baker's run on it with issues 4, 5, and 6 are heavily sought after. And number 4 has been the book that people have routinely tried to hunt for over the years. There are only 2 publicly sold copies that have taken place in the last 3 years. A 3.0 selling for $5,877 in June of 2021, and a 3.5 that hit $7,800 in February of 2021. With members long giving up finding an issue 4, issues 5, the one that made the list, is now being hunted for more than ever.
And keep an eye out for issue 6, which is just as gorgeous of a cover as those last two. Moving on to number 1 on the list, the hottest runners-up, the most notable honorable mention, we have Bone, issue number 1.
If you like what we do, hit the link in the description. You are in the final week of being able to support the show. Join the September mystery mail call box. 1 per box. We have an Invincible number 1. Cover art done by John Boy Myers, going out at random. 4 different variants with 4 different print counts. Comic Tom 101, link in the description. And Jeff Smith's Bone, rounding out our list this week. And unfortunately, with the April news that the Bone series is now officially been shelved, now's the time to grab an independent, beloved comic, because the day that it inevitably hits the screen, it's gonna blow back up, just like we've seen happen with all these other independent, respected runs.
Now, in June, the CGC 9.2 sold for $5,000, which actually put it down from its high sale in March of $5,665. But here today, we have a CGC 9.4 that broke record. It sold for $4,100 back in 2021, and it's up now 66%, selling for $6,795.
I want to know from the comic fam in the comment section below, who else had parents read them Bone as a kid? It basically taught me how to read. Also, Comic Pops read me a lot of Hellblazer. I digress. It'll enter you to win this 55K milestone giveaway, Invincible number 1, Tyler Kirkham Omni-Man variant. And as always,
geek responsibly and stay minty fresh.
Enough said. Join myself, Gem Mint, and all my homies on the best new place to buy and sell collectibles. We're all on there doing dollar start auctions that last as little as 15 seconds long. We break out the keys, the silver, the bronze, the modern, the store variants, the exclusives, the giveaways. Take a look at the links in the description, sign up, and after your first purchase, if it's the first time downloading the app, you get a $10 credit, and we do too. So you can support this show, and we can both buy more funny books. We have 2 other videos for you to check out. We made them for you. Enjoy them, and have a great week.